If you have security cameras around your house, never open a recording dated tomorrow. I know how that sounds. I know it sounds like one of those fake stories people post online at 3 a.m. because they're bored and want attention. But I'm not bored, and I don't want attention. I'm writing this from a booth inside a 24-hour diner outside Bend, Oregon. My hands are shaking so badly, I keep hitting the wrong keys. There's a security camera above the register, another one above the back door, and one pointed directly at the parking lot. I've been trying not to look at them because about an hour ago, my dead phone turned on by itself and showed me footage from one of those cameras. The timestamp said, "Tomorrow." My name is Nathan Brooks. I'm 28 years old. I work nights at a Walgreens on the east side of town. Nothing interesting ever happened to me before this week, and that was exactly how I liked it. 6 months ago, my uncle passed away and left me his house. It wasn't much. A small, old place about 15 minutes outside town, with a graveled driveway, a rusted mailbox, and pine trees crowding the backyard so tightly it always looked darker out there than it should. The kind of house where you hear branches scrape the siding at night and tell yourself it's just the wind. For the first few months, I liked it. It was quiet, no upstairs neighbors, no traffic. No one blasting music through the walls. Then, I started finding footprints behind the house. Not shoe prints, not animal tracks either. Just deep, narrow marks in the mud near the back porch, like someone had been standing there barefoot in the rain. The first time, I blamed a deer. The second time, I blamed some drunk guy cutting through the woods. The third time, the prints were right below my bedroom window. That was when I bought the cameras. Nothing expensive. All brand. Just a cheap 4-camera security kit from Walmart. One over the front porch, one over the garage, one aimed at the backyard, one inside the living room facing the front door. For 2 weeks, they caught nothing but raccoons, blowing leaves, and me coming home exhausted at 2 in the morning with a gas station sandwich in my hand. Then, on Monday night, my phone buzzed at 2:13 a.m. motion detected. Backyard camera. I opened the app. The video showed my backyard in black and white. Wet grass. Fog between the trees. The crooked fence at the edge of the woods. Nothing moved. I was about to close it when I noticed the timestamp. Tuesday, 2:13 a.m. the next night. I sat up in bed and stared at it. At first, I thought the camera had glitched. Maybe the date was wrong. Maybe the app was trash. I even laughed a little, because what else do you do when your phone shows you tomorrow? I deleted the notification and went back to sleep. The next evening, I took the trash out after dinner. Halfway across the backyard, I stopped. I don't know why, I just stopped. The grass was wet, fog was sitting low between the trees, the fence looked like a black line at the edge of the yard. I pulled out my phone and opened the recording from the night before. It was the same image, exactly the same. Same fog, same crooked trash can near the porch, same broken branch hanging over the fence. Only one thing was different. In the recording, I wasn't there. In real life, I was. I stood in my backyard for a long time, staring at the trees, waiting for something to move. Nothing did. That night, another notification came in. Motion detected. Front porch camera. The timestamp said Wednesday, 6:48 p.m. The video showed me opening the front door and stepping onto the porch. There was a cardboard box sitting on the welcome mat. No label, no tape, no address. In the video, I picked it up. Then I looked toward the road like I had heard something. Then the footage ended. I didn't sleep after that. The next day, I decided I wasn't going to play along. At 6:30 p.m., I locked the front door. At 6:40, I dragged an armchair in front of it. At 6:45, I sat on the couch with my eyes on the camera feed. 6:48 came and went. No box, no porch, no me opening the door. I actually smiled. For about 3 seconds, I thought I had beaten it. Then someone knocked on the kitchen window. 3 slow taps. I froze. The kitchen window faced the side yard. There was no porch there, no walkway, just wet grass and the line of trees. I grabbed a flashlight and went to look. No one was outside, but when I turned around, I saw the cardboard box. It was inside the house, sitting on the floor by the front door. The armchair was still in place. The deadbolt was still locked. The camera over the porch showed nothing. I didn't open the box. I shoved it into the garage, locked the door, and spent the night sitting on the couch with every light on. At 2:13 a.m., my phone buzzed again. Living room camera. The timestamp said Thursday, 11:06 p.m. The video showed me sitting on the couch. Same couch, same room, but I looked terrible, pale, sweaty, like I hadn't slept in days. I wasn't looking at the TV or my phone. I was staring at the corner near the bookshelf. There was nothing there. Then the version of me on the recording slowly raised one finger to his lips, like he was telling someone to be quiet. I paused the video, zoomed in. Nothing in the corner, no shadow, no face, no movement, just me, staring at empty air, telling it to stay silent. That was the first time I thought about calling the sheriff. Then I imagined myself trying to explain it. "Hi, officer. My security cameras are recording tomorrow, and tomorrow, me is afraid of my bookshelf." So I didn't call. Instead, I did what any scared idiot would do. I started testing it. I wrote down everything the recordings showed: times, cameras, what I was wearing, what I did, and the pattern made me sick. The footage didn't show a fixed future. It showed the future after I had seen the last recording. If the video showed me going outside and I refused to go outside, something would happen inside. If the video showed a box on the porch and I blocked the door, the box would appear in the house. If the video showed me looking at something and I tried not to look, I would hear a noise that made me look anyway. It wasn't predicting me, it was training me. That's the only way I can describe it. Every recording gave me a little piece of fear, and then I spent the next day arranging my life around that fear. By Thursday night, I was done. I packed a backpack, grabbed my keys, and walked to the garage. The car wouldn't start, not even a click. I popped the hood and found long wet streaks across the battery, like someone had dragged soaking fingers over it. The garage camera was blinking. I had unplugged it that afternoon. It was still blinking. I backed away from the car, went inside, and found a new file sitting on my laptop desktop. I don't know how it got there. The file name was Don't Leave MP4. I didn't want to open it. But by then, wanting had nothing to do with anything. The recording was from the garage camera. The timestamp said Friday, 1:19 a.m. It showed me sitting in my car, trying to start it. Then I froze. Slowly, I turned my head toward the back seat. The camera angle was too dark to show what was there, but my face did. Whatever I saw, I recognized it. That scared me more than if I had screamed, because I didn't look shocked. I looked like someone had finally arrived. After that, I opened the box. Inside was an old security recorder, gray plastic, cracked screen, dust in the buttons. On the side was a faded sticker, property of Brooks Residence. I plugged it in. The screen flickered. A list of recordings appeared. The oldest ones were from 2014. The newest one was dated next week. I opened the oldest file. My uncle sat at the kitchen table, Ronald Brooks. He looked thinner than I remembered. His beard was uneven. His eyes were red, like he had been crying. He leaned toward the camera and whispered, "If you're seeing this, then the house picked another Brooks." I stopped breathing. On the recording, my uncle looked toward the hallway. Something knocked in the distance. 3 slow taps. He closed his eyes. "Plus, the cameras don't protect you," he said. End quote. "They don't show you what's coming. They show you where to look." He swallowed hard. Don't watch the next one. That's the only rule. Every video is an invitation. End quote. The recording ended. I sat on the garage floor until my legs went numb. Then I got angry." End quote. "I smashed the recorder with a hammer. I smashed the router. I pulled down every camera and threw them into a kitchen drawer. Then I shut off the power at the breaker box. The house went dark. No Wi-Fi. No cameras. No screens. For the first time in days, there was only rain on the roof and wind in the trees. I lit 2 candles and sat at the kitchen table. I told myself it was over. Then my phone lit up. It was on the table in front of me. No service, no Wi-Fi, no cameras connected. The screen showed one notification: new recording available. I didn't tap it. I swear to God, I didn't. The video opened by itself. It was from the living room camera, the one sitting unplugged in the kitchen drawer. The timestamp was the same night, 9 minutes ahead. In the video, I stood by the front door holding a kitchen knife. I was crying, not screaming, not yelling, just standing there, crying, with the knife in front of me like it could help. Something knocked on the door. Then a voice came from outside. My uncle's voice. "Nathan, open the door. I know how to stop it." I dropped the phone. "Knock. Put 'em. In the video, I watched myself reach for the deadbolt. I screamed at the screen, "Don't open it!" But the me on the recording couldn't hear me. He unlocked the door. My dead uncle stood on the porch. Only, he didn't look dead. He looked terrified. He stepped inside and said, "It already sees through your eyes." Then the recording cut off. I had 9 minutes. I dragged the bookshelf in front of the door, then the couch, then the kitchen table. I stood there with the knife, repeating the same words over and over. "I won't open it." The house was silent. At exactly 11:06 p.m., the knock came. 3 taps. Then my uncle's voice. "Nathan." I didn't answer. "You think you're changing it," he said, "but this is what you always do." I pressed my back against the wall. "What does that mean?" I whispered. There was a long silence. Then the voice outside said, "Why do you think the newest recording is dated next week?" I looked toward the kitchen. At the drawer where I had thrown the cameras, the voice continued, "Because you make it that far every time." My mouth went dry. I didn't want to believe him. Then my phone buzzed again. Another recording. Timestamp: 1 minute ahead. I tried to throw the phone, but the video started before I could. It showed my living room. The barricade was gone. The front door was open. I stood in the middle of the room, facing the camera. My face was covered in dirt. My hands were bleeding. The me on the screen said, "If you're watching this, I failed again." Then he leaned closer. "Don't try to stop yourself from opening the door. That's not the trap." He looked over his shoulder at something I couldn't see. "The trap is watching what happens next." The video ended. Immediately, a new notification appeared. New recording available. And I stared at it. And finally, I understood what my uncle had meant. Every time I watched, it moved closer. The first recording was tomorrow, then the next day, then tonight, then 9 minutes ahead. Then 1 minute. It wasn't coming through the woods. It wasn't coming through the door. It was coming through the recording, through my attention, through the part of me that needed to know. I turned the phone face down. I didn't open the next video. The knocking stopped. For almost 30 seconds, the house was silent. Then a voice spoke from the other side of the door. Not my uncle's voice. Mine. "Nathan," it whispered. I didn't move. "Nathan, please." I didn't watch the last one. My stomach turned. It sounded exactly like me. Tired, broken, desperate. I did what he said. The voice continued. Now I don't know what happens next. The cameras in the kitchen drawer clicked on, one by one. Click, 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 click. Then the TV turned on. The power was still off. The screen showed the living room from behind me. I saw myself standing there with the knife. I saw the barricade. and I saw what wasn't in the room. A shape stood directly behind me, tall enough that its head almost touched the ceiling, thin arms hanging too low, no face, just a person-shaped hole in the dark. I did not turn around. On the TV, the shape leaned toward my ear, and the voice behind the door whispered, "Now you see it." The screen went black. I don't remember leaving the house. I don't remember moving the furniture. I don't remember opening the door. The next thing I remember is walking along the highway in the rain, barefoot, holding my phone in one hand, even though I had taken the battery out. A trucker found me near the county line and drove me to this diner. I told him I had been in a fight. He didn't ask questions. Maybe I looked too scared to lie. I'm sitting here now, trying not to look at the security cameras. The waitress keeps asking if I'm okay. I keep telling her I'm fine. But 10 minutes ago, my phone lit up again. No battery, no SIM card, no reason. The notification said, "New recording available." I turned the phone over before the video opened, but I saw the camera name, Diner Front Counter. That camera is about 12 feet away from me. I haven't looked at it once. I'm not going to. I don't care what it shows. I don't care if it shows me leaving. I don't care if it shows me dying. I don't care if it shows me sitting right here tomorrow, typing the same warning again, because the future doesn't start when something happens. It starts when you decide to watch. So if a camera ever sends you footage dated tomorrow, delete it. Break the phone if you have to. Burn the house down if you have to. Just don't open the recording. And if it opens by itself, don't look at the screen, because by the time you see what's standing behind you, it has already learned where your eyes are.